Hi everyone, today I'm going to pull back the curtain on everything inside my share portfolio, exactly what's in there right now. As an international investor, I don't have access to the real estate market in America. But fortunately, we all get access to buy the best companies in the world on the US stock market. And I think the timing couldn't be better to show you exactly what I'm holding in probably one of the more crazy times in history. It took me many years to become a disciplined investor, and I still don't think I'm that disciplined even now. And what I mean by discipline is following the most simple, yet the most difficult rule of investing. That is, don't lose money. For me, this means two things. I buy shares in things that I strongly believe won't go bankrupt. And two, I don't sell them for a loss. This seems pretty simple, right? But your brain will play tricks on you, and the market's going to test you a lot. Right now, the market's 35% off its February highs, and my portfolio is down about 35% as well. So maybe it will go lower. I have no idea. But if I sold anything now, I would be breaking rule number one, which is don't lose money. Now, out of all of my investments, the share market is actually my biggest investment. I believe that the companies and industries that I invest in are the future. And I really do believe in the longevity of capitalism, which is essentially what I'm investing in. I'm investing in capitalism, and I don't think capitalism is going to disappear in our world. And quick disclaimer, this is not advice. This is just what I invest in. Please do your own research and get your own personal advice. Okay, enough small talk. Let's see what's in my portfolio. Stock number one is Google. Now, I try not to fall in love with companies, but I have a crush on Google. Their ad revenue business continues to grow rapidly, and as online advertising becomes more and more important, Google is in the center of this field. They also have huge amounts of money, so they can just buy out competitors or buy out anything interesting in the space that they like. And their core business in internet search, they're a monopoly. Whew, it's getting hot in here. I think I'm going to have to talk about something else. I need to move on from Google. Stock number two in my portfolio is Apple. We all like Apple products, and when someone has an Apple product, it's really difficult for them to change into something else. And it's simply probably the best brand in the world. Oh, now an important point is that I use Saxo Bank trading platform to buy, sell, and hold my shares. As an international investor, it wasn't easy to find a safe, reliable company that I could buy, sell, and hold my shares with, because I really needed to trust it's not going to go bankrupt. Because it does happen. These trading platforms, they do go bankrupt. So I chose Saxo because they're one of the biggest, they have one of the simplest trading platforms to understand, and their fees are reasonable considering I'm a long-term trader and I'm not a day trader. It's really not suitable for day traders, but it's perfect for my long-term investing strategy. They're regulated in 15 countries like Denmark, the UK, and Singapore. I will in the future open another account with another platform just to diversify some of my risk away from Saxo, but for now, Saxo Bank has been really reliable and it's been working really well for me. And they have been around for 25 years also. Now, I do have an affiliate link in the description that if you do sign up, Saxo do pay me a little bit of money as a referrer. I think it's important to be honest about affiliate links, and I think it's also really nice of them. So if you are interested in getting a trading platform, please use the link in the description for me. All right, back to the portfolio. Now, stock number three, this is a little bit interesting. This is an emerging markets 3x bear ETF. Now, this is not a mainstream investment. This is an ETF, which is essentially just a basket of all different investments piled in together. Now, this basket is full of emerging market economies like Turkey and Russia and South Africa, India, China, Brazil, countries like that. Now, to complicate this even further, this is a bear 3x ETF, which means if these emerging market economies actually start to go down, then my ETF value goes up, and vice versa. And the reason it's 3x, it means that it moves at 3 times the normal speed. So this ETF has wild ups and downs. Now, I believe the economies of Turkey, South Africa, and Russia in particular are going to struggle in the near-term future. See, I believe that these economies are going to decline because they've got poor governments in control at the moment and that they're reliant on one particular industry, which is mining. Okay, stock number four. So the next one is the Financial Bull 3X ETF. Yes, another 3X geared ETF. This one is a bull ETF, so that means as the financial sector goes up, my ETF moves up at 3 times the value as well. Oh, and of course, vice versa as well. I actually bought this stock last week because of the massive decline in the market. I didn't really know which of the companies in the financial sector I wanted to buy, so an ETF was a really good approach for me to get a little bit of all of them, especially the good ones that I wanted. The biggest holdings in this particular ETF are Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan and Chase, Visa, MasterCard, and Bank of America, which individually I like all of those companies. Now, this took a lot of confidence to reveal everything inside my portfolio. If you found this at all interesting, please could you like the video for me? And leave a comment with your thoughts as well. There's no payment necessary. You can pay me in likes. The next stock I have is Facebook. Back to something a little bit more mainstream. This one is quite simple. It has an amazing growing profit, and Instagram and Facebook are quite addictive. And Facebook also has massive amounts of cash. They can just buy up competitors if they get threatened. Next stock, International Business Machines, or IBM, called a true blue chip company of America. Right now, the dividend's paying about 5%, which is a fantastic dividend for an American company. Now, the investing world finds IBM a little bit unsexy, but I think their work in AI in particular is really interesting. I'm not expecting explosive growth, but long, sustainable growth over the long term is what I'm looking for. Don't worry, at the end of this video, I'm going to summarize all of these investments in a table. The next stock is my iShares Core S&P 500 ETF. This is simply just the 500 biggest companies in America, all in one ETF. This one's quite easy to understand. As the economy grows, this ETF grows with it. This is me just investing in capitalism. Great, my first Australian company on the list, Macquarie Group Limited. I actually only bought this last week as well with the crazy low prices. This company has the best growth profile of all of the Australian banks at over 6% dividend as well. It's a really attractive investment. Australian banks have been around for like 100 years, and the exchange rate's actually really low at the moment, so I'm actually getting a lot of value for my money. The next one is MasterCard. This is another stock that I only bought last week at the crazy low price of $100. Anyway, simply, I just think that cash is dying, and MasterCard's profit just keeps growing year on year on year. Now, the ProShares Ultra Technology ETF is an ETF similar to the financial industry ETF that I invested in earlier, but this one is all tech. I believe tech is the future, and it is going to grow at a faster speed than any other industry. Now, the top holdings of Microsoft, Apple, Google, and Facebook. Now, I know I already have Apple, Google, and Facebook, but I couldn't work out last week because of the crazy prices whether I should buy Apple, Facebook, or Google. So I bought this ETF. So I got them all. Rural Funds Group, another Australian company, but this one is an REIT, or a REIT, which is a real estate investment trust. This is a little bit different. Now, it works similar to an ETF, but instead of investing in companies, it invests in property and puts all the property together so that you can buy a diversified portfolio of property. Now, as you can see, this is actually my biggest individual holding. Now, RFF is an agricultural REIT. They have almonds, cattle, vineyards, macadamias, and poultry farms, all across Australia and New Zealand. The dividend is at 5%, and my dividend gets reinvested automatically every quarter. So over the long term, I expect my holdings just to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. The next company is Skyworks Solutions, and this is another tech company that I believe has been unfairly priced. They make little microprocessors that go into like every phone. Skyworks is also leading the way with 5G technology, which I think is going to dramatically change the mobile phone landscape. Yes, as you can probably tell now, I like tech companies. The next three companies are all ETFs, and the first one is a Vanguard Australian High Yield ETF. This is mostly full of boring Australian companies, mostly banks, that pay quite good dividends. The next one is the Vanguard Financials ETF. Now, this is practically the exact same ETF as stock number 4, FAS, on my list. The explanation is just simply I bought this a long time ago before I knew that FAS existed. It holds the same companies, Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan, Chase, Visa, MasterCard, things like that. Next is my Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. This is another big chunk of my portfolio. Now, this ETF is actually exactly the same as stock number 7 on my list. This one is run by Vanguard and not BlackRock, and the reason I bought both of them was because I wanted to diversify between the two biggest ETF companies in the world. Again, this is my investment in capitalism. And this is it. This is the last one. It's Visa. Again, I think cash is kind of dying, and I think paying on card is better for everyone. Just like MasterCard, Visa is growing year on year on year, and I just think it's going to be really hard to disrupt MasterCard or Visa. So here you are, that's all of my investments all here together in this table. So if this was interesting for you and you enjoyed nerding out with me on this, please hit the like button to show me that you did like it. And I'm excited because the next video I'm going to show you what I'm planning to buy and what I think is the best buying opportunity for like a decade.